Stories from the Frontline, Recuperating Essential Worker Accounts of AI Integration examines the experiences of workers in a waste management facility in the US, newly tasked with overseeing autonomous floor cleaning robots. Over the course of 20 months, we conducted ethnographic observations, qualitative interviews, and participatory engagements. The incorporation of participatory practices intentionally bridged a widening divide between administrative decisions and janitorial staff's lived realities. We seek to expand the discourse on ethical AI by positioning essential workers as a key source in developing best practices for deploying new technologies.